And welcome to Tackle the Board. My name is Chris Exusion. You can find me at Chris Ebom on Twitter. And this is Russ Reese, the Vegas line reader. Russ, how are we doing?
Doing good, man. We actually had a nice little weekend again. Started off the season just right. I think on the picks that we gave out, it was 2-1, and you went 2-1 too. Nice little weekend. I gave Florida out on this show and ended up being one of my big plays I sent out to my members. So it was definitely, crazy game at the end. Definitely love Florida. They screwed up in the beginning of the game, giving a fumble away, but closed out the game, won that close game for me. You had a couple nice winners. You had your body bag game of the week, right? Who'd you have there?
Oh, wait, hold on. Cue the sounder. You got
the sounder? Yeah, you might have to wait on
you always got to have the sounder ready.
Yeah, he's not in the studio today. Sorry, man.
Oh, man. Hit it.
Oh,
man, you're taking too long. What's going on here?
I ain't got no cue, man.
Oh, man, we talk about body bag games. You got to bring it up.
Right. But who'd you have there? You had TCU, right?
Well, pretty much. We'll wait for the sounder later. But pretty much what it came down to, I talked about it. We got the bag early on Friday. TCU, Colorado. Colorado stinks out loud. TCU absolutely dominated with the Sonny Dykes era. Offense was flowing, punt return touchdowns. It was just a beautiful thing. And then I even talked about a game with James Madison. First game in the Sun Belt, Russ. That line was fishy, and it was -6. The only reason it should have been -6 because they were putting Middle Tennessee in a body bag. Hit it. Oh, man, I didn't even hear it. Oh, there you go. Thank you. All right, thank you. Yeah, exactly.
We got to get
right eventually.
Video. The guys.
Middle Tennessee State, one of the worst teams in Conference USA. Pretty much, the offense stinks out loud. Rightfully so. They lost by 1,000 points. James Madison came out to play with the transfer senior quarterback from Colorado State. He was running and throwing. He was absolute monster. So we had an extra body bag game, which I didn't even expect. So beautiful thing, Russ. The plays were great. Florida pulling out that nail biter, and of course Indiana with the comeback victory. Everything is beautiful, Russ. Tackle aboard on fire early.
Yeah. Settle down with that comeback victory. All right, my Indiana team had the lead all game. All right, there. Don't be.
They did. You know what? And you know what the funny thing was? I took them live when they were down. It was like money line, like plus like 1.
Took Indiana live, right?
Yeah, I took Indiana live plus 180
when
they were down, and I took them, and it was a beautiful thing. So. It was always great there, but because I felt confidence with your Indiana Big Ten play. I was all about that.
Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah, their only loss was, I think, Ohio State. We gave out a free pick on that on my side. And the best wide receiver getting hurt during the game just affected the offense. They looked terrible in that game. Still ended up winning that game as well.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Hey, NFL Week 1, we got everything going on right now. We got the Bills and the Rams. The game's absolutely crazy right now. We're going to pretty much almost be getting into halftime. Thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate it. We're going to get into the entire card. That game's been kind of crazy right now. But, hey, let's get right into it. The first game we're going to get into, Ravens at Jets. Jets +7. The over-under, Russ, 44.5. Where are we going with this, Russ?
Yeah, all right, dude. You got a couple brewskis in you tonight, dude. We got to start with college football, dude.
Oh, do you want to start college? We can start college football. I thought we were doing NFL.
Dude. College football. Hell yeah.
Oh, sure. Absolutely. We can definitely go with college football. I thought we were going NFL right off the bat, but hey,
you saved the best for last, man.
Oh, I apologize. All right. Well, we'll get into my game then, since I guess I'm up the plate over here.
No,
you got the Roadrunners and the Army Black Knights. I love the under 54.5, Russ. This is a game where teams are avoiding to becoming 0-2. The Roadrunners losing a heartbreaking game against Houston. They each gave up almost 40 points last week against the opponent, which is pretty crazy for both defenses. They really underperformed this week. Well, last week, if you will. Army known for the triple run, option, running the clock out, controlling that clock. They actually lost the time possession last week, which they rarely do. So this was kind of a weird spot for them. This is a team that was set for 9 wins for their over-under, which is really high especially for an Army team. Now, UTSA needs to prove they can stop the run here. Last week, they totaled for 9 tackles for a loss. So they should be able to get behind the line of scrimmage for the most part. Jameel Ligon and Trevor Harmonson, they didn't disappoint last week, getting 19 tackles, 1 tackle for a loss. The passing game was really the only thing that hurt the Roadrunners last week, but you're not going to have to worry about that with Army. They rarely pass the ball. Army needs to win this game, and the under is going to happen here. It's starting to trickle down a little bit. It was at 54.5 when I locked it in on Pickswise. We got down to 53.5. I expect both these defenses to be ready to go. Army should control that clock like they always do, run that ball. Tyler Robinson was fantastic. I expect him to get first downs, to continue moving the chains. I love a point when Army gives up an over. They rarely go over the second time. So this is a spot where we're getting value with the under, especially in the 50s. Typically, these Army games can get into those high 40s and everything like that. So give me the under in Army.
Yeah, nice. What was the spread on that game?
Plus 2.5 Army.
Okay, nice. Yeah, it seems like a spot. I see UTSA, they actually had triple overtime last week. So
correct, against Houston, yep.
After that, they got to be tired traveling to Army. That's what would look like a good spot for Army too, I would think. But if I were to pick, if Army's getting a running game going, I can definitely see that game going under for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's get into your next game. Baylor at BYU. BYU laying 3 points.
Yeah, I like BYU here. I was on the fence when it was at 3.5, and I love that it went to -3 now. These two teams actually faced off last year, and Baylor actually won 38-24. This is a spot where the public is being fooled here. 60 to 65% of the bets are around Baylor as the dog here. This is all because Baylor overachieved last year, and they're ranked in the top 10 right now. These guys are not a top 10 team right now. The odds makers even showed us before the season even started, showing us that Baylor is actually 4th projected to be in the conference. They're 4th in their own conference. So this is a perfect revenge spot here. Baylor lost their quarterback, 2 best running backs, and 2 best receivers. And they're facing a BYU team who were bringing back a ton of returning talent this year. Baylor only had 1 game versus a ranked team last year on the road, and that was against Oklahoma State. They lost that game by 10 points. So just a perfect revenge spot here. Chris, you got the whole team coming back for BYU, facing a Baylor team that's ranked in the top 10, who's missing all those starters. And I think in that game, it was about 460 yards of the 530 total yards that Baylor had. All those players are gone. So that's a huge discrepancy there where all those players are missing. Baylor's not going to show up for this game. And you got to think motivation-wise, like Baylor already beat them. Oh, we're going to go play at BYU this week. Like those big schools don't care about traveling to BYU. This is more of a big game for BYU. They finally got ranked, and now they're playing a top 10 team on paper, which I don't think they're a real top 10 team, but in their heads for this game, they're going to be jacked up. So I like BYU, who looked really good last week against South Florida. They dominated South Florida.
Absolutely.
Yeah, South Florida's actually improved this year. So they spanked them. That shows me something with BYU is going to be much improved.
Yeah, absolutely, man. The running game was fantastic last week. You had Brooks, who rushed for 135 yards on 13 attempts. Just the running game was great. You even had a couple guys, and one guy go for 76 yards on 3 rushes and 55 yards on 10 rushes. I mean, the run game was beautiful, and that's a big part of BYU. Make sure that run games go well. Hall at quarterback played really well. He had 261, 2 touchdowns. The team looks solid, well-oiled machine. I mean, BYU is the big name, so a lot of people getting like that 3.5 points. They're going to lash onto it, so I like where you're going there. So I'll roll with you with the Fighting Mormons over there.
Oh, yeah.
And then we'll get into my next game here. We're going a little Maction, all right? You know the games I get into. This is right in my wheelhouse. These teams absolutely looked terrible last week. Western Michigan at Ball State. Western Michigan is currently a 6.5-point favorite on the road, Russ. I'm rolling with the Broncos this week. This is some serious revenge. I'm not missing out on it. They both had terrible starts against big Power 5 schools, losing by an average of 35 points. I mean, both of the teams look terrible. But you know what? When you look at the game and see what happened with these teams, they aren't the same. Western Michigan, They were playing their freshman quarterback, Salpic. He threw for almost 200 yards, 60% completion percentage. This was his first ever start, and he was at Michigan State, and he held his own. Very impressed by that. The Broncos had kept this game an 8-point game till the end of the third quarter. But if you look at the score, they look like they got blown out. But this game was close almost the entire way. Michigan State barely covered this game. They had to score a 43-yard touchdown pass with 4 minutes to go just to cover this game. I was kind of impressed with the Broncos there, especially with the young quarterback right there. But Ball State against Tennessee, Russ, there was nothing there. They absolutely fucking sucked. I'm not going to lie. They were horrible. The run game was obsolete. They averaged 2 yards a rush. The quarterback threw for 2 interceptions. The defense gave up 45 points to Tennessee before they even put points on the board, Russ. Ball State was absolutely terrible. When you look at both these scores, how they lost, Ball State, nothing came good from them. Western Michigan kept it close most of the game. And now you got double revenge here. Ball State at home. They have won the last 2 matchups. Now this is the third one. There's a bad taste in the mouth for the Broncos over here. Now the Broncos are almost laying 7 points now after getting beat up by them the last 2 times. I have no problem taking the Broncos laying less than a touchdown here. The quarterback looked pretty good for his first start against Michigan State. Ball State is 1-6 against the spread away off a double-digit loss against a team with a record less than 400. So pretty much in a nutshell, Western Michigan 0-1 the season. Ball State losing 10-59. I will side with the Broncos seeking revenge, and we're going to get almost another body bag game this week. I think it might happen this week on the road. I think they laid a smackdown. Broncos laying the smackdown, body bag game, book it.
Yeah, I actually really like this too, actually. Looking into this game now, I mean, this is one of the sneaky ones. Looks like they lost 20-45 last year, and that was when it was a good Ball State team. Now they lose some talent, and the Broncos are better. And I'm seeing that the Broncos actually, Western Michigan, they fumbled 2 times in the red zone last week against Michigan State. We had them on their heels. So Western Michigan looks good. Ball State, yeah, like you said, this is a revenge game. So I can see Western Michigan putting it on them. So double-digit victory is pretty nice there. It would be nice to get an alternative line, but I'm sure you're not going to find it on this type of game, right?
Probably not. You might be able to on DraftKings, though. I wouldn't be shocked. You might be able to. DraftKings does a pretty good job of getting alternate lines where you can make it like 9.5, and then you might get like a plus like 150 or something because it's at 6.5. Just like spitballing, what it is for the most part. But Oregon State at Fresno State. Fresno State getting 1 point. Russ, where are we going here?
Yeah, I got Fresno State here. This is a tough spot here for Oregon State. They're coming off a big win. I was actually watching that game last week against Boise.
You were up late, man.
Yeah, I was up late, man. I was getting on my I'm ready this year, man. I'm ready to go, man. Oregon State, they had a ton of energy in that game. Everything literally went their way in that game. Boise State ended up having 5 turnovers in that game. And Oregon State, watching them, they hit on 2 deep passes. Like just everything was going their way that game. Fresno State, they have a stud quarterback, Jake Haener. He averaged 34 points per game with the offense last season. Now he's got his senior running back, and he's got 3 of the 4 receivers from last year. This offense should be clicking. I think they're going to catch Oregon State here in a bad spot. Give me Fresno State +1 here. I like this right here.
All right, dig it, man. Hey, but what is the next game? Do you know off the top of your head? I'm just like looking here. So, all right, so we have it looks like you're going to face are they facing Middle Tennessee State next week?
I haven't looked at that.
Well, they got USC and Utah the next following games. I mean, that line does look kind of fishy. I'm not going to lie.
You're saying Oregon State, who they have next?
I think they got Middle Tennessee State. Oh, no, Montana State. Okay, so they got a cupcake they're going to play, and then they'll get into Pac-12 play. But this is a low line. Oregon State looked awesome. People are probably going to jump on Oregon State left and right on this game. If I'm looking at what the percentage is right now, actually not as high as I thought, shockingly. I guess because Fresno State crushed their game too, so maybe a lot of people are taking the over here. But about 50-50 for the most part. But you got Oregon State pretty much majority of it. The line looks fishy.
it's funny because last week Oregon State, when they played Boise State, everybody was betting Boise State. So it looks like
a very popular team.
Yeah, they're leaning a little bit toward getting it closer to 50-50. So we'll bring them back to 40-30% after this game.
And my boy Mitch is checking. He says DK has alternative lines on it.
Oh, so, I know I do. Right when I said alternative line, I thought of Mitch. I was going to say
Mitch is my alternative line guy, man. He's the man, dude. He's always on top of it, dude. Because he knows the value we talk about every week on Tackle the Board. Mm-hmm. And if we feel like it's going to be like a body bag kind of game, we can definitely get some value with the alternate line. So I absolutely love it. So
that's awesome. I'm very surprised. I didn't know the small Matt Games had that.
That's what I thought, because when I look at the lines and stuff, DraftKings is usually pretty good with it. So that's where I was pretty much getting at for the most part. But he also brought up a quick question. I don't know if you're gonna be able to jump on it. I can probably talk about it a little bit. But thoughts on UCF and Central Michigan this week? If I'm looking at this game right now, so Louisville is at Central Florida. Louisville was a team I was pretty high on last week. They absolutely shit the bed last week against a Syracuse team that couldn't move the ball against them in the last 3 or 4 years, and they really got up for that game. Central Florida looking really good. This is kind of a public perception kind of game.
That's why I want you to hold the phone right there, dude. Just to listen to what you said.
It's a public perception game. I'm kind of leaning the Cardinals here because I feel like I'm still pretty. They have the best quarterback in the American Conference and the ACC, if you will. Mm-hmm. And this is a team that I was pretty high on. They got pretty much caught with a revenge game, which I normally would have taken, but I kind of backed off of what I usually do because I don't hit every revenge game, so I kind of second guessed myself. Now you're getting value with the Louisville Cardinals. I like them getting 5.5. I think it's kind of imploded for this week. I know UCF looked really good last week.
That's what I'm saying.
56-10. But
let's talk about this for a second. That's what we want to do. The first sentence, they got blown out last week. So now everyone's going to remember last week. You know what I mean? Correct. That's when everyone's sleeping on the team. They're a dog next week. I think it's just a good spot. I mean, Louisville did beat UCF last year. I remember that game. So it's a little bit of a revenge spot for UCF, but you're still going to get the best effort out of Louisville in this game. So I'm debating. I might be putting a bet on this game. I think it might be a big play, but I got to look more into that game. I think
sure, absolutely.
Where they're embarrassed. Central Michigan, I got to see. Chris is the Mac guy, so maybe I should have took the Louisville game and you took the Central Michigan one there because I don't even know who the hell they're playing. I haven't even looked at that.
They're playing a team that I used to take a lot, on Tuesday nights in South Alabama. They're playing Central Michigan this week. Pretty much Central Michigan played Oklahoma State last week and got into a big shootout and ended up losing. Now they're 5.5-point favorites. If you're looking at what South Alabama did last week, they killed Nichols State, which is pretty much an FCS school. So this is if I'm just looking at the line and now Central Michigan's laying 5.5 with a veteran quarterback. I believe he's been there for 5 years. Black quarterback, but no running of the ball. He's pretty much a pocket passer. A lot of experience on the Central Michigan team. I would personally lean Central Michigan minus 5.5. They showed me enough against Oklahoma State. I personally didn't do a lot of research on this game, but first look at this game, I will take Central Michigan laying 5.5 because I think it's kind of a little fool's gold. Nicholas State, FCS school. I'm not buying it. I know South Alabama pretty well. I usually sweat those games out on Tuesday. They never make it easy for me. This 5.5 looks way too easy to take South Alabama. So give me the Chippewas at minus 5.5.
Nice.
All right, now for the bread and butter, which I thought we were originally doing, but you wanted to kind of give an appetizer. You flipped the script on me. So I'm okay with that. I have no problem flipping the script.
We were a little out of sorts when this show started, man. We're all over the place. You wanted a body bag thing? I'm like, dude, you didn't tell me to play any body bag.
I thought you always had the sounder up anyway. I just thought that was I'm not all right for going up for moving forward, Russ. You should always have the body bag sounder at all times. I mean, we hit 2 on that.
I'll work on that in my free time.
Yeah, come on. Just get your soundboard ready, hit the button, and then we're ready to roll.
You got it.
All right. I am kind of the producer of the show, but
exactly. Yeah, that's your.
But I don't have the sound bite. So what am I supposed to do with it?
I'll send it over to you.
Oh, great, thanks. All right, I guess I'll have to do it. I'm the producer and director of the show, so yeah, I understand completely. Okay, NFL time, Russ.
All right,
Everyone's
we've only
excited
been
about
waiting a
NFL.
year for this. All right, let's get this first damn NFL game in.
I know I wanted to bring it up, but we kind of pushed off to the side. Now we're ready. NFL, here we go. Ravens at Jets, +7, over under 44.5 for us. Where are we going with this game?
I got the Ravens here. I'm hearing a +7 over there, so I don't know who the hell you got in this game here, but just messing with you. I got the Ravens here. These guys, I just feel like they're going to wear down the Jets here with the run game, even if Mike Davis is the running back. We also got a fully healthy Ravens defense. I'm excited to actually see this team play. Exactly.
You know how high I'm on the Ravens.
Oh, yeah. They were injured all last season. We talked about that in the previous videos. So I don't see the Jets. They got Flacco starting for this game. This is the type of game where Flacco, at most, he's going to score about 17 points here. So I see a 27-17 type of game. And even with the run game, I can still see Lamar Jackson. I feel like he's going to open up the pass game a little bit here, get Bateman involved he didn't get many touches last year. I feel like he's going to get some touches in this game, Bateman, possibly a touchdown. So I think Ravens, this is just one of those games that we always see one of those like huge blowouts, like a 35-10 type of game well, there's always that top tier team against the bottom tier team. I see two of those kind of blowouts this week one. This seems like one of them. So I'm just going to go 27-13 type of game. I got the Ravens here.
Yeah. A couple of years back, I had to look at it because I remember this. I thought it was last year, but it was actually the year before.
Mm-hmm.
But so the Ravens played their first game against Cleveland, who was okay. They're kind of up on the rise. They won 38-6. Then they played at Houston, who was terrible, 33-16. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting for this game this week. I'm personally leaning the under. I don't think the Jets are going to really score at all. They might score 10 points, maybe 14. Like, I think that's pretty much what we're looking at. But I like the Ravens laying the points, man. Like, you know how big I am on the Ravens this year. I have them plus money to win the AFC North. They're the favorite, but they're still plus. I think Lamar Jackson goes off this game, and just Andrews plays really well, and just and I think Dobbins is going to be playing as well, the running back, right?
I think he might be out for this. He might be playing. We'll see. That's why I said I think Mike Davis might be starting this game. It's
Which isn't the worst thing. I think Mike Davis can do some damage too.
Yeah, they just keep going back and forth with Dobbins, so I'm not even trusting until he's out on the field right now.
Right.
I have no clue what the hell's going on with that.
But I like your play with the Ravens laying the points. I think they win by double digits. I think they come out early. I mean, I think they come out like real well in the beginning of the season for the most part, whether they're going to win or smash a team. I think this is like a perfect spot. It's a really good survivor pick, if you will. I think I mean, spoiler alert, I'm in your survivor. I'm going to be taking them. I'm going to be taking them. But I like the under too, because I just feel like that Flacco and the gang is going to score. Like, I don't see it. Like, I think it's going to be conservative. They want to get out of Dodge and just kind of mosey along for the most part. So I'm leaning the under, but I like your Ravens play as well. So I can double dip with that.
Yeah, they both seem solid there. Even if you talk to any Jets fans, they're probably just the first thing they would say is we're going to get blown out. You know, this is just usually I'm not a big favorites guy, but this is just one of those games that it's either you take the Ravens or you just don't bet this game at all.
No, absolutely, guys. And once again, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you coming in, coming out. We appreciate it. Put your comments out like my boy Mitch. We'll answer the questions. He even threw me a little Chippewas action. I can definitely talk any game with you guys. So let's have some fun. We're going to get into the next game. Colts at Texans, another +7 line, over under 45.5 for us.
Yeah, I like the Texans here, +7.
Oh, baby.
I loved it more when it was at 7.5. I would probably buy this up a half a point just to get the 7.5 guys right now and get the Texans. Because Frank Wright, he's lost straight up and against the spread in all 4 season openers with the Colts. All right. This will now be his 5th. The last 4 season openers is what I meant to say. This will now be his 5th different starting quarterback in his 5th straight season. This is why the team struggles every time on the first game of the season, because this guy just brings in a different quarterback. And when you have a new quarterback on the first week of the season, yeah, the team's not going to play well. They got to get things together. So I think it's just one of those things where they got another new quarterback coming in. Matty Ice, I mean, he's a well-known commodity, but come on, man, he's getting old as hell, man. And he didn't show much in that preseason game at all, man. So
he's as old as I am.
Yeah, I'm not trusting too much in that. Even if they're up double digits in this, I just don't see a domination type of game. And it's the division type of game against a team with a new quarterback that just came in, Matt Ryan. I can see like a 26-20 type of game here. I can see the Texans getting a cover here easily.
So Russ, can you tell me who the quarterback's going to be for this horrible Texans Lovie Smith team?
Oh, we got Davis Mills, dude. He's the
Davis Mills is still around.
He got his work in last year, man. Yeah, he got his work in last year, man.
Oh, man. All right. Well, all right. It's really hard for me to back a Lovie Smith team. I'm sorry.
I can see that.
I mean, I get it. And honestly, those stats you brought with Frank Wright are fantastic. I didn't even see those, honestly. I mean, because I didn't really do a whole in-depth with this game. But I'm leaning the under here. I think Taylor runs the ball a lot. I think they're, trying to run clock out. They're going to get their win. It's just I don't think they're trying to blow this team out. I agree with you. I think Texans put up a good fight for Lovie Smith his first game. Then they realize he fucking sucks. And they abandoned him in about week 4 or 5, and then the wheels are off the bus. But for now, you can cover that game, and I get it. But I'm leaning the under 45.5.
It's one of those things where I think they can win this game, and I don't think that. No, I'm saying they could win this game, and then I don't trust them the rest of the season. It's just the first game of the season.
No, and I like your perspective.
I forget what team did that. Somebody did that.
How going to be for Lovie Smith?
Yeah, I think the Texans did do that. It was the Texans or Jaguars. I forget which team in the past couple of years. They won the first game, and then they lost 12 or 13 straight or something. It was ridiculous. I'd have to go back and look that up, though.
No, I hear you. We don't have our stat guy on that right now.
Yeah,
but that's okay. But I'm leaning the under. You're leaning the Texans. I just can't take Lovie Smith. But if you're going to take Lovie Smith at any point, it's going to be week 1. So.
But that's what I'm saying. I would like the under too because it's one of those things where if, like I said, Matt Ryan's going to come out in the first half a little sloppy. So I could see this still being a lower scoring game, even if the Texans don't
cover. New quarterback with a new system. But he's a veteran. But I get where you're coming from. It's still a new system. He's been in so many different systems nowadays. It's just
I was looking whenever I see something, I start looking back, and I looked back at some of the guys that randomly go from a different team onto the new team, and these guys do not play well. I'm not counting the stud quarterbacks. I'm counting.
You're talking about Russ Wilson? We'll get into that later.
Like I said, I'm not talking about stud quarterbacks.
That's what I'm kind of getting into. But hey, you know what?
Come on, let's ride. Come on.
Well, let's ride. Let's ride to the next game, all right? We got 49ers at Bears. Bears again, +7. The over-under is 40, Russ. What are we doing here?
Yeah, we got some boring blowout games here. I got the 49ers.
Part of the board. We got to tackle it.
No, trust me. I know it's weird that they were put together like that close. I got the 49ers here, though. Bears, they only had 6 wins last year, and all they did was lose Allen Robinson and lose Khalil Mack on defense. I mean, these guys, I feel, will just be one of the worst teams in NFL. Same kind of thing. I said 2 blowouts this week. I feel like this is the other blowout of the week. 49ers in their wins versus teams that didn't make the playoffs last year. In those wins, whenever they win those games, the average winning margin is 13.5 points. So that shows you that they take care of business against the bad teams. So give me the 49ers, a 30-17 type of game here.
All right. We got a check-in over here from Scrappy Spider. 49ers big.
Oh, there we go. This guy doesn't. Yeah, we don't even need to talk about this game.
This is not rocket science, people. Pretty much come down to Trey Lance. I get he's a little newer. But Deebo Samuel, everything's solidified with him. He's getting paid mucho bucks. This team is going to be rising and firing on offense on all cylinders with Kittle and everything else. Well, actually, hold on. I apologize. Kittle's questionable. But
yeah, he's hurt. Yeah, he just got hurt. Yeah.
Banged up. That's right. He'll probably play. But the big question is, how are the Bears going to score? That's the real question. I kind of it kind of sucks because I kind of like Justin Fields a little bit. I feel like he's got some talent, but I just feel like they put him in the shittiest spots ever. And just the Bear, you know what the weird thing is? You look at the Bears uniforms, you look at some teams oh, they look fast. Like the Bears, you look at them, they never look fast. Like I don't know what it is. Like when I look at a team like the Bears with their uniforms, they look like a slow, boring team.
Except for when Devin Hester's back there, right?
Yeah, I guess, but that was like 100 years ago, man. We're old. That's like old news. People don't even know Devin Hester anymore.
Oh, I don't know. Hold on, dude.
No one knows Devin Hester anymore. That's old news.
Only old people watch our show.
We're just showing our age with Devin Hester at this point. You're going to tell me that Akeem Warwick is like, we're going to talk about him in a second. Like, people don't know these people anymore. They're old news. And the punt returner is dead anyway. So that's beyond the point. But this Bears team time scoring, I'm with you. 49ers, let's keep it simple. Scrappy Spider, big winner. Let's go. Let's get into our next game here. All right. Mm-hmm. Steelers at Bengals. Bengals are laying 6.5. The over under us 44. What are we doing?
I like the Steelers here plus 6.5, actually. I don't like them for the season, but I just feel like this is a good spot for them. Basically, Burrow, he's coming off rupturing his appendix, having surgery almost literally 5 or 6 weeks ago before the season starts. Mm-hmm. Now you come in versus a division rival who doesn't mess around here. They actually lost the Steelers by double digits both meetings last year. So these guys, when the Steelers are pissed off, they come out to play. I just feel like the betting public's being fooled here. Just the mindset of what the Bengals did to the Steelers last year. I just feel like the Steelers are going to come out firing here. Last year, if you remember the Steelers' first game of the season, they shut down Josh Allen. So with a healthy defense, I feel like they could get to the quarterback. Burrow might be a little shaky after getting surgery coming in the first game. I'll take the Steelers here plus 6.5.
Yeah, I mean, look, Mr. Trubisky got named the starter. Hey, by the way, did you see the video where he imitated Russell Wilson? He goes, "Let's ride," and he's doing these "Let's ride" things. I mean, it's absurd. But you know what's not absurd? Mike Tomlin, dude, great coach, probably maybe the best coach in the NFL. I'm not even joking. Like, dude, like got 9 wins. I think it was a year or maybe 2 ago with like who was the quarterback
last year he won. I couldn't believe it.
But who's the quarterback? He was horrible. What was his name?
Randolph. Rudolph. I'm sorry. Rudolph.
Yeah. Dude, he was horrible. You're telling me you won that many games with that shit quarterback? Like, come on. Let's get real here. Like, this dude is a great coach. Like, and now he's got Mitch Trubisky, he's serviceable. He's not horrible, and he can run a little bit. And then he's got Najee Harris, Chase Claypool, like Pickens. I mean, This offense isn't hard. And, of course, the strong points are defense with what? Like 6.5 points. Everyone is on the jockstrap of the Bengals. And you know and I know a team that loses the Super Bowl the year before tends to fall off a little bit more. We might get an early fall off with this team. I'm not saying take the Steelers outright, but that's 6.5. If we get it at the 7, like that's a smash Steelers play. I'm sorry. Tomlin's way too good of a coach. Like,
yeah,
the Steelers plus 6.5 at least.
And this over/under is low too, so that's why I feel like the Bengals aren't going to score. Like everyone's amping them up. They're awful.
Nah.
And
they have a lot of weapons, rightfully so. But.
Yeah, Higgins actually has a banged up shoulder too. Their second best receiver, so that's going to be huge for this game in a division game. Yeah, I see an ugly type of low scoring game. You usually don't see. They got swept last year. You know the Steelers are going to play a lot better this year.
Yeah, it's all right, Scrappy Spider. We can roll. We can be part of Steel Current this week. Let's take the points, man. Let's ride.
yeah, take those points, dude.
Hey, come on, man. You heard us talking. We're big Tomlin guys, and we're not even Steelers fans, man. I don't even like Pittsburgh.
Just don't take the Steelers over team total points. That's all.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, geez. But honestly, like you said, I would be really worried if this was like an over-under of like 48, like 49. Like I'd be like, Bengals are going to score a lot of points. But this is only 44. Like this plays right into Tomlin's hand, running the ball with Harris. Like Trubisky's going to get running for first downs. Like, come on, man, give me those points with the Steelers all day.
Definitely.
All right, dear to our heart over here in our neck of the woods, the Philadelphia Eagles at the Lions. Lions are getting +4. The over/under Russ 48.5. Where are we going?
These teams actually matched up last year, and the Eagles annihilated them 44
last year.
Yeah, it was a joke. The Eagles play basically the smash mouth football game with the running game. If they do that in this game, I see them dominate because I remember that's what they did last year against the Lions. Lions, they're a type of team that I do see winning more games this season. They could win about 5 or 6. because the division's kind of weak for them. But it's just a spot where the Eagles, they're going to be a playoff team. They're improved. So I feel like the lines against the playoff caliber teams, it's just a step up to them. So this is a spot where there's a lot of people saying this is a fishy line. I mean, the line's where it's supposed to be at, but everyone just sees that it's the lines. They're like, oh, it's only 4, but the lines are a lot better. But again, it's just a bad matchup for them. I feel like the Eagles can pound the rock, win this game. I still think it'll be kind of close. They'll win by a touchdown, 27-20 type of game. I got the Eagles here, though.
Yeah, I mean, the line kind of scared me a little bit. I'm not going to lie. Then you're going to get a lot of the hard knock stuff. Everyone's watching, and it's like, oh, the Lions are a lovable team. They're getting 4 points. Maybe this is a sneaky line for them. I love the over here, 40.5. Like, I think Jalen Hurts scores a good amount. I think the Eagles get up and running early with their offense with Brown and everybody else and Devontae Smith. I mean, literally no excuses for the quarterback Hurts this year. This is it. Like, he's got all the weapons, great offensive line. Like, if he doesn't produce this year, I mean, this is like, I'm not saying this is like an Alabama, Oklahoma kind of thing, because obviously they're facing professional talent every week, but he's got all the weapons, and Goddard's pretty much going to be a humongous stud this year. That's just going to, this might be a huge catapult year for him. This is the year that, like, you see like a tight end that can really explode off the scene. Like, this is about his time. So I love the over. I think the over is a safer play because I don't know, line does kind of scare me, but I know what you're saying with like the talent pool and everything. And it looks too easy because they smashed him last year, but give me the over. I think Hurts gets a lot of points. And then I think the defense because the defensive coordinator, we don't know what he's really going to do yet. He has all this talent, and is he going to really pressure, or is he going to be in that kind of prevent defense, bend don't break that he did last year? So that's kind of where we're at. So I love the over here. Give me the over 40.5. Russ likes the Eagles at -4, and Scrappy's checking. He says, "Don't think the Lions are going to keep up with the points Eagles going to put up." Oh yeah, he's with my man Russ over here. He's nailing Russ Reed's the biggest line reader.
Is that the little guy on my shoulder over here, dude?
Yeah, man, you got one of your top supporters over here. I mean, he's thinking what you're throwing down. I mean, I absolutely love it.
I like to hear.
Absolutely, man. Hey, next game. We're going to get into kind of a dicey kind of game here, but the Saints at the Falcons. Falcons getting 5.5, over under us 42.5. Where are we going?
I'm going to switch it up here. I actually like the over here. The Saints actually made a huge improvement this season at the wide receiver position. Last year, I was looking at the first couple games for the Saints. They had Hardy, Humphrey, Callaway. They were the leading receivers the first 5 weeks. Some of these guys you probably never even heard of, all right? Callaway, I think he was the number 1 receiver last year. Now he's number 4 receiver, right? They got Michael Thomas, Jarvis Landry, and they got rookie Olave from Ohio State, who I love this year. These guys have a bunch of receivers. Michael Thomas is playing those games, though, he's questionable this week. So, again, don't know what the hell's going on with him, but I feel like Winston, looking back at Winston's stats.
Jameis, baby.
Oh, yeah. Jameis actually had.
He's going to have a good year. I'm telling you right now, he's going to have a good year.
But if you look at his stats, he had like 14 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and that was with those terrible receivers. So hopefully Michael Thomas comes back, and I feel like this offense will get clicking. So I see them getting their points, and this is a Mariota quarterback type of game, so I don't like him, but using his legs as an underdog, I just feel like he'll get some bogus points in this game. So I like the over 42.5, which is a low number. So I could just see like a 24-20 or 27-20, and I easily hit this over. So I like the over in this game.
You know what's pretty funny? I was looking at the depth chart for the Saints. I saw Andy Dalton's the backup, which I thought was really funny.
Hopefully
I put it out for shits and giggles.
It's over.
I'll tell you what, though. I'm kind of leaning the Falcons here, and hear me out.
All right.
I'm kind of leaning towards a Marcus Mariota, been in the league for a while, running quarterback, be able to move the chains, running the ball, not the best thrower. Cordell Patterson had a really good season last year. Kyle Pitts, who I'm really high on, I think it'd be a huge safety blanket for Marcus Mariota. I'm actually kind of leaning pretty much the 5.5 of the Falcons, but I also put in my notes as well. I'm leaning the over. I think points will be scored. 42.5 is way too low for this game. I mean, there's just too much that can happen here. I think Jameis Winston's going to have a great year. My man's got LASIK. He can finally see. He's not going to throw 30 interceptions like he did the one year. Like, the dude is seeing the ball now. Like, he looked past it for the longest time. You know, Squintin' Winston, he was always kind of like looking like, what's going on there? He's throwing to somebody. He didn't know who he was throwing it to, but he threw for like 10,000 yards, but he threw like 40 interceptions. So it didn't really matter. Either way, I like this over as well, but I'm also leaning the Falcons because I think people are writing them off a little too early with a couple of their weapons, and they're really poo-pooing Marcus Mariota for this game.
Yeah.
Give me the 5.5 in the division game.
If you look back at some of the games, if people look back at those games, you'll see a lot of unders that occurred, but that was because Taysom Hill played in like a bunch of those games.
Yeah, and he stinks that loud. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he's the reason why there's a lot of low-scoring games there with Taysom Hill getting like 17-9 type of games, and that was when Matty Ice was a mess with no receivers. So now we get the first game. That's why I like it. The first game of the season, always the first 4 weeks. I don't even like overs. You know, I'm an unders and underdog type of guy, but the first month, guys, I know everyone loves overs. So if there's a time to take overs, it's the first 4 weeks of the season. That's when you want to take the overs because teams, they don't play defense to start the season at all. Once you get into later in the season, that's when the defenses get together and they start playing well.
Absolutely, man. But hey, we're getting into a tough game here. The line's been moving kind of crazy this game, but the Browns at the Panthers, pick them over under 42.5 for us.
All right, so let me look at my first line I got here. It says,
that's the first line we got.
This is a game, whoever the favorite is, I'm just not trusting. So the whole week, I'm like, yeah, I got the Browns here. And then today we find out, I'm like, it's a pick 'em now. I'm like, oh my God, you got to be kidding me. So no one's even the favorite now. But just looking at this game, this is a type of game that whoever the favorite is, I don't trust because you got two bad quarterbacks in this game. But this is another reason I was telling you about a new quarterback playing for a new team, and it's a bad quarterback. So you're not going to see Baker slinging the ball around. He's going to be a little sloppy because he's playing for a new team. It's the first game of the season. And the Browns, that defense is not a slouch. That's why, yeah, the Sharps know this because this is got to be one of the stats because if we'll talk about the Jags later, that's why that spread's jumping so much.
We'll get into that game.
I just want to note that it's another bad quarterback, Carson Wentz, starting for a different team. So that's what I'm saying. The Sharps are seeing this stuff, man. They're jumping all over. That's why this Browns is down to a pick 'em. So Brissett, I feel like he'll do just enough. He's the smarter one, the veteran. He'll do just enough to get his 20 points if he even gets that. I could see like a 17-16 type of win here. If you guys want to bet, I would take the under too because you got two bad quarterbacks that'll struggle to get to that 20 points. I actually just talked myself into liking the under here, Chris. I'm not taking the spread here. I like the under for this game, man. Give me the under 42 points in this game.
Scrappy says, hey, take that under. Russ is talking. He's heard you breaking down your logic.
Sometimes when you talk, man, you just start, it clicks in. You're like, hold on a second.
Yeah, sometimes when you break down games, whether you're like big about like
15 games in front of you, right?
This is a tough game, not going to lie. You got a lot of intangibles that are in there. You know, Baker Mayfield looking for his revenge and everything. I originally kind of leaned the Panthers with McCaffrey and everything. Now he's got like a spike in his foot now that he got scratched up with. Like, it just, this guy's made of glass over here. Like, maybe I'm blowing out proportion, but I think this under is the way to go. I was kind of leaning the Panthers at first because I think Mayfield just really wants to stick at these guys, but the Browns defense is no joke. I think this under is the right play. I'm not going to spend any more time on it because I can't give any more to it. So we're going to the next game here. This I do want to talk about, though, because I have a few opinions on this game. Jags at the Commanders or Commandos? So what were you calling them?
Commodores or something?
Commodores. All right, I won't call them the Commodores till they win a game. If they win a game, we'll call them the Commanders. But right now, the Jags at the Commodores, -2.5 Commodores, over under 44. Russ, where we going?
I was just telling you that nobody even wants to sniff Carson Wentz in this game. All right, this spread.
They really don't. This line's shopping like a bad habit.
3-win team in the Jaguars from last season, and this spread has dropped sharp action all the way down to 2.5.
Sharp action is coming in.
Oh, yes, it is. Usually you get this type of sharp action on Sunday, Chris. All right, this is when you see the dramatic drop. This is not like college football where the spreads are jumping all over the place to start the season. This is the freaking NFL, man. All right. They're like, dude, so I had to turn on Carson Wentz, some preseason football, dude. The guy's always down 10 points, and then I see him making his completions. I'm like, this is exactly what he did in Philly. He just pads his stats, gets his I didn't throw in interceptions. Yeah, dink and dunk here and get all these fumbles. Hopefully no one notices. But yeah, this is embarrassing. You got a team only favored by 2.5 at home against the Jaguars.
No one's gonna be at the game.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, I think the Jags are going to be you're down on the Jags, but they're going to be improved. They won 3 games.
Sure, they can win 4 games.
Yeah. Even if they're a 5-6 win team, Commanders, they're at bottom of the barrel of the NFC East, which NFC East is always bad. These teams lose to bad teams. I like the Jaguars here. I feel like Dougie P, he'll make the offense simple, just like he did for Nick Foles. They're going to do nice short passes, nothing. I was watching a film last year, and the Jaguars, they just kept going deep. They had terrible play calls with Urban Meyer. It was absolutely awful. Now they got they didn't have ETN. Everyone's excited with him. So got 2 young guys, kind of like Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott, get the excitement, the young quarterbacks. You're down on these guys, but I'm telling you, man, next year these guys are going to go.
Next year's fine, not this year.
I'm telling you, but still, they're going to be improvement. Remember the first year of the Eagles with Carson Wentz? They showed signs of how they.
No, they're going to be improved a little bit. But I think the next year is their year. I do agree with that.
They still won like 6 or 7 games, though. They look good, though. So that's what I'm saying. You're going to see flashes of signs here with the Jaguars, and I'm like drawing a blank. I'm like trying to explain, and I can't even think of what's
laughing at his whole thing.
Yeah, I can't even think of the quarterback's name. We do this every time we do the show.
Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence, thank you. We do the show, and I literally just draw a blank.
Okay, that happens. That happens sometimes.
Trevor Lawrence is going to have a great season. He's projected to be like over 4,000 passing yards on the season, which is pretty good. So if the odds makers trust it, I trust it. So I feel like he's going to do pretty well passing the ball.
Peterson,
Commanders, you think things are going right for the Commanders. Their freaking running back just got shot. All right. That's when you know things aren't going your way. You signed Carson Wentz and your starting running back just got shot. All right. I'm sorry. All right. So I got a stat here also for Carson Wentz.
I'll hear a stat.
Carson Wentz, he actually faced the Jaguars 2 times last year. If you remember, he played with the Colts. He had the best running back in the league. All right. Last year, Carson Wentz was on the Colts. He faced the Jaguars 2 times last year because they were in the division. Wentz averaged 17 points, 183 passing yards in the 2 meetings against the Jaguars. All right. This guy does not know what he's doing. He had the best running back in the league last year, too. All right. And Pittman ain't no slouch at wide receiver. So I don't want to hear he ain't got no weapons or anything. All right. He's got great weapons with the Commanders now. All right. So give me the Jaguars here outright. 24.
Oh, man. All right. Okay. Here we go. All right. So first off, all right. If you watch Tackle the Board, I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid of the Jacksonville Jaguars because it looks too good to be true. There's too many good signs that fall through. Their over-unders is like more than double this year. It's just like a crazy number. But I will tell you right now, for not being a Jacksonville guy, I am making a Jacksonville bet every week. And my bet I'm making every week with the Jacksonville Jaguars is Trevor Lawrence, 2 rushing touchdowns in 1 game. I am literally betting that every week. And
you know what the odds are?
Right now, it's 45-1 this week.
What? Really? Holy shit. No, that's definitely it.
Now, this is a guy that can scramble, and they run draw plays for him constantly.
You're probably going to hit it the first week, so don't bet it the rest of the year.
Well, it's just principle. I mean, you're
probably going to win. You're going to win this week, I'm saying.
If I win this week, then whatever. If I lose, I lose. That's only 16 times out of the 45-1 I win, then who cares? It's about principle, Russ. All right. If it happens twice, it's going to be fucking explosive.
Yeah.
So anyway, I really like Trevor Lawrence to run the rock, to get touchdowns. He did it for me at Clemson. He was a great first TD touchdown kind of guy for Clemson. I cashed on that constantly with them. So I decided to do a little experiment. So that's what I'm doing every week. putting a sandwich bet, sandwich bet. Nothing crazy. It's not like I'm betting the house on him every week to get 2 touchdowns. I mean, it's a tough enough bet to make. But sandwich bet. Sandwich bet. Hey, if I don't win, I don't eat a sandwich. Big deal. I probably could go without eating a sandwich. That probably would help me. So sandwich bet every week. 2 rushing touchdowns for him. Right now he's 45-1. I have it locked in. No problem.
But yes, the whole point of the bet is to eventually hit it. So if you win this week, do not bet it the rest of the season because it's not hitting. Josh Allen had like 6 rushing touchdowns last year, right? If you hit 2 in the first week, dude, the odds of you hitting.
I know there's slim to none. It's an experiment. It's an experiment. Dude, I'm betting a sandwich. Like it's not.
Well, I want you to start an experiment with someone else. If you do hit the first week, I'll be jumping up and down 45-1.
Okay. All right, fair enough. But anyway, so let me get into this. This line's dropping like a bad habit, like too much like a bad habit.
No, we're still talking about this game.
Yeah, so I had to get into my prop bet that I'm betting every week. It might actually hit this week. But anyway, so I like the over personally in this game. I think there will be points scored. I think Carson Wentz can throw. He can definitely throw for picks as well. That will get over for the total.
Okay, now you're starting.
But it can go both ways, though. It's a double-edged sword with Carson Wentz. You know him. He's going to hold the ball for a very long time, and then he's going to be like, all right, I can make this Superman play. Good, and he ends up making it a pick. But I think there's too much love with this Jags team, especially for the first game. If you're giving me more than a field goal in this game, I'd be like, okay, like I kind of get that. But this line's dropping way too much. Like, enough is enough. Like, the Commodores, the Commandos, whatever you want to call them. And mind you, Rivera, I think he's one of the most overrated coaches in America. Like, I don't think he's that great. I think he only got that accolades because Cam Newton had like an unreal season where he was like rushing for like 1,000 touchdowns and like throwing at will with guys like you and me out there. Like, he just had like an unreal season. And I think people tend to remember that a little bit. But we got to remember, guys, this is the Jacksonville Jaguars. They still have a learning curve. Doug Peterson, like, I think they're eventually going to get it right. I don't think this is the game they're going to necessarily get it right. I think too many people are down on Carson Wentz. Everyone, like, he fucking sucks. Like he blows. This is all I see on Twitter constantly. Like, people are like, oh, what's your prediction for years? Like, Carson Wentz sucks. Like, that's the predictions I see. Like it's just like, what's your prediction? He's like, Carson Wentz fucking blows. This is what I see on Twitter constantly. And I get it because he's a loose cannon. But this game, like, I'll tell you what, I'm going contrarian. I'm going to take the Commandos, the Commanders, the Commodores, whatever you want to call them. I'm taking them, and I'm taking the over Russ. Can't convince me otherwise. Too much public perception on these Jags, and you know how low I am for them for this season. Next year will be their season. Let's pump the brakes a little bit on these guys.
Yeah, I see Carson Wentz picked up his first win last year against Jacoby Brissett in week 4. Oh, and then he beat the Texans in week 6. There you go.
All right, well, he's got a couple wins under his belt. Good for him.
Good luck.
All right, we're going to get into another game here. This is kind of like a funny game, though, because the Patriots at the Dolphins. Dolphins are now laying 3.5. It was at 3. Now it's 3.5. The over-under Russ 46.5. Are you drinking the Dolphin Kool-Aid?
Yeah, so this is one of those games. I'm not a big fan of -3.5. That's why I said when I saw BYU earlier, go to -3. That's when I like them. There's always like 2 games on the week that I don't like. And I was glad we did this on a Thursday night because I was telling Chris that Rams-Bills was a game that I was literally back and forth and could not pick. And as we can see right now, the score's 10-10. So that's why there's certain games that are just like you don't need to bet because you have no clue which way it's going to go. That's kind of like I like the Dolphins here, but if I had this at like a pick 'em or -2.5, I would really like this. But still, if I were to take a side, I'm siding with the Dolphins just because you got an improved Dolphins team this year, and they're going against
one of the best off seasons of the year, right?
Yeah, exactly. And they're going against the Patriots, who are going to regress. But this is something that everybody knows. You know what I mean? So we know they're going to be better, but this is a spot where they have to win at home. But I still think that they could win by just a field goal, you know what I mean, and win the game since it's a division type of game. So I'm kind of thinking like Tua is going to be a little conservative. He'll hit his check downs, and I'm not seeing like a big deep pass by Tyreek Hill because Belichick he likes to double cover the best player on the team and doesn't like to give up the deep ball. So I would side more with the under here, actually. I had a bunch of notes for the Dolphins, but once I saw this go to 3.5, I'm just NFL taking a -3.5 is just not worth it, especially in a division game. So I kind of talked myself out of that one. I would stick with just the under for this game.
All right, so this is what's going on here. I'm right with you right there, leaning the under. This is kind of a little high of a line for me. I know that the Patriots are in like a new offensive, scheme, everything going along with that. I'm right there with you. I'm leaning the under. I think there's a learning curve with the new Patriots offensive, scheme for the most part. Dolphins, once again, a little bit too much hype for me to take them at 3.5. You still got Belichick on the other side. So I'm going with the under as well. But the next game we're going to get into, Giants at Titans. Titans -5.5. The over-under us, 43.5.
I got the Giants here, man. All right, so we talked about this in the previous videos. Titans lose A.J. Brown, their wide receiver, and now we just saw in the previous week, Landry, their best pass rusher, he's out for the season. This is the type of team. There's always one team before the season starts, guys, where everything goes wrong, and the Titans, this is the team where everything's going to go wrong. We've got a 12-win team from last year facing a 4-win team, and they're not even a touchdown favorite at home. They're only -5.5. I'm going to talk about this right now, how this game's going to win outright. It's going to be an ugly game, 20-16 win. You guys better not drop my damn spread all the way down to 3.5. All right. Don't worry. I got my 5.5 locked in. I'm going to be sending this out to my clients tomorrow because after the show, this thing's dropping down to 4. All right, Chris, take the Giants. This is a no-brainer. Tannehill has no weapons. First game of the season. It's going to be sloppy, Chris. The over-under's at 43.5 because it's going to be a sloppy game. Give me the Giants here.
Yeah, a little extra sloppy over here. I mean, I don't hate it. I had my notes. I was leading the Giants. We didn't talk about this beforehand. I think this is too many points this game. I don't have them outright. That's pretty bold. But I think the 5.5 is good. I think I'm honestly, being an Eagles fan, I don't mind Daniel Jones. I kind of like his mobility. I think he can kind of create plays. He just needs a couple years under his belt. Everything like that for the most part. I think Saquon Barkley is going to have a really good year. Honestly, I think he's healthy and he's going to have a really good bounce back year. Probably a comeback player of the year for the most part. But I'm right there with you, plus the 5.5. I want to set up these couple comments before. Jags,
sloppy Joes.
Oh my gosh!
Made them extra
sloppy. All right, Chris. That's what this game's gonna be right here. All right.
Body bag thing, but you got me extra sloppy over here. Unbelievable.
Had that queued up perfectly.
But -2.5 alternate line with the Jags. If you're with Russ, go crazy bonkers over it. And yes, I'm going to call them Commandos, Commandeers, whatever I want to call them. No problem. My man Scrappy Spider says I'm leaning the over in this one. I don't know. 43.5 is pretty low, but I'm leaning the Giants. That's pretty much what I'm going with most part. But this is a really interesting game, Russ, with a guy that's been dominating the team for a really long time. We got the Packers at the Vikings. Vikings are only getting 1.5 points. The over-under us, 47. Where are we going?
Yeah, I actually got the Vikings here. Packers first game without Devontae Adams. I feel like it's going to be huge. I just see the Packers turning into more of a heavy run team that's going to play great defense this year. This being the first game of the season, I just don't trust the Packers receivers in this game. Lazard's their number one, and he's actually a little banged up now, I got to check the injury report. So that's definitely not a good sign for the Packers. First game of the season. I think the Vikings, this is just a spot where, again, first game of the season, Vikings should take advantage of this. I still think these guys always play these tight games. I think it'll be a close one where Vikings win by like a point, 24-23 type of game. They hit a field goal at the end of the game. So give me the Vikings here.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of with you on the Vikings. This is a tough game for me. I was kind of leaning the over a little bit, but they are losing some weapons, especially Devontae Adams and everything. But I'm probably staying away from this game most likely, but I would probably lean the Vikings because I think their offense should be clicking, right? I mean, like, can they put up points with them this game? Like, I know Aaron Rodgers is like unreal. I get it. You know, you down once in a while, then he goes off and throws to whoever for like 5 touchdowns.
Yeah, can I just want to say something with that? So I was looking back at Aaron Rodgers. Remember he disappeared for a little while, but these past couple seasons, he had those 2 MVP seasons where he went off. But those years that he went off, Devontae Adams, he had like 14 touchdowns, 10 touchdowns. If you took out Devontae Adams' stats in his huge years, man, the previous years, he didn't have Devontae Adams when he was actually hurt. His stats were pretty bad. If I go back, low 4,000. That's what they're projecting this year, low 4,000 passing yards. That's why I think he's just going to have an average season. He's getting up there in age, man. He can't scramble.
Right. You're talking me into a little bit. I'm riding the Vikings train with you. No problem there. But hey, let's get into our next game. Chiefs at Cardinals. Cardinals are getting 6 points now at home. Over under 54, Russ. Where we go?
The first thing that jumped out to me here is I like the over. This line's been jumping up high. I can't believe
it. It's been jumping up left and right. Yeah.
We'll talk about that in a bit because I have no clue what's going on there. I usually don't like overs, but this is definitely a spot. Like I said, first 4 weeks of the season where there's always high scoring games. You got 2 stud quarterbacks, Kyler Murray, and you got Mahomes in this game. The Chiefs lost their best safety, Matthew, who was pretty much their leader on the defense last year. I think that's going to be huge, being the first game of the season. No vocal leader out there. I think the Cardinals can do just enough to get plenty of points here. They can't stop Kyler Murray scrambling in this game. I'm seeing like a 33-27 type of game here. I do not trust the Chiefs defense at all in the first 4 weeks of the season.
Yeah, I mean, same deal. I'm leaning that over. You couldn't make this over high enough for me. I think points will be scored left or right, especially with Kingsbury, with his offense and everything. But this line started at 4, now it's up to 6. Russ, enough is enough.
Yeah.
We need Kyler Murray with these points. Like, I'm sorry, this guy does not get tackled. This little bugger, he's just running around, doing as he pleases, never gets touched. Like, you think he's going to get tackled, then he just, like, slides down, and he's like, whatever, I'm fine. And then he'll, like, throw and run and just go bonkers.
Yeah, I've got that.
Touchdown with him?
Yeah, that's Murray. He's a scrambling quarterback. He's hitting like 60, 70% as an underdog. So always take Kyler Murray. And these scrambling quarterbacks, when they're down double digits, the
back door is always open.
NFL, they play the prevent defense. Even if you're down double digits, these guys just scramble, pick up the 10, 15 at the end of the game. They just constantly score at the end. And everyone had the Kyler Murray hate all season because he didn't have the contract. No one likes him. And then you had Mahomes played in preseason, which was a surprise. And everyone saw how great he did. So that also is bolstering the lineup. People are getting all excited about that. So I feel like something's going on here. I don't know if there's too many injuries with the Cardinals. I have to look at this, guys. We'll check on Sunday because for this to jump up to 6 is very fishy to me.
Yeah,
because
that's fishy.
The Jaguars a couple of years ago were +3 at home, and they had Nick Foles as quarterback. All right, so for the Cardinals to have Kyler Murray and they're +6 at home, this is like a huge line. This is like Jets-Bears territory, which I do not understand. So I would stick with the over for that game too.
Yeah, we'll have to look at the injury report. I mean, 6 seems like a lot. Maybe there's something I'm missing in the injury report. We'll find out later in the week, but we like that over as well. Sunday night, Russ, we got the Tampa Bay Bucks at the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys getting 2.5 points at home. Over under 50.5 plus 50.5. Where we go?
I like the under here. You got 2 teams coming into the season with some issues. You got the Bucks missing their interior offensive lineman and Godwin coming back from a torn ACL last year. And then you got the Cowboys missing their stud offensive tackle, Tyron Smith.
Big loss.
Yeah, that's a huge loss. These 2 teams faced off last year in the first game of the season, and the game went way over. The public will see that result from last year. They'll be fooled into taking the over. With the issues being on the offense for both teams, I'll happily take the under here. I see like a 24-23 type of game. I'll take the under here.
Yeah, man. I absolutely love that underplay. I didn't even think about that, honestly, but now that you brought that up anyway, that's pretty much a great spot there for the most part.
Nice.
So what I'm pretty much looking at here for the most part, I'm not overthinking it, Russ. Sunday night, Tom Brady, you're telling me I only have to win by a field goal against a team that lost that lost tons of offensive weapons, and it's just the offensive line's in shambles. And I even heard like Jason Peters is gonna. I don't know. Is he even? I heard he's like the tackle for the Cowboys.
Yeah, they drafted the rookie tackle, but I don't know if they are going to have him start or they're worried about him that he's not good enough. We'll see.
I don't know. I heard things. I could be wrong though, but I heard Jason Peters was going to be.
It's not easy to stop the Buccaneers pass rush too.
But if Cowboys signed Jason Peters. Okay, so they did sign Jason Peters. Okay, so this is what I thought. Dallas signed him, but he has been dead weight for the last couple of years, and this is like a last hurrah kind of thing. Like they did Cowboys because they got housed by Peters like the last 5-6 years by the Eagles. They think he's going to be good for them now. That's not the case. I think that's going to be a huge problem for the Cowboys. I think Dak Prescott's going to be on his back constantly. Yep. The under is a fantastic play. I didn't even think about the under. If you take the under with the Bucs laying 2.5, I'm all for that. Same game parlay, done.
Yeah, and I'm starting to think more of like the Cowboys too, maybe just taking their team total under, because if they're going to have, whenever they have those offensive line issues, and you're missing Amari Cooper too, so you're just relying on one receiver pretty much, CeeDee Lamb, Dalton Schultz. People want to be like, yeah, get him on your fantasy team, dude. He's a body, dude.
He's a body.
Yeah, because they had two good receivers. He was open. Don't think he's just Travis Kelce here going to be getting double teams here. All right, relax with the Schultz.
Yeah,
he's asking for a contract, and he's like, yo, pay me the big bucks. They're like, Jerry's like, I don't think so, man. All right, we know how Jerry knows how good he really is. All right, that's why he's not paying.
Yeah. You're not that great, buddy. But you know what? Now we're getting to the Monday night game. This is kind of interesting. We talked about new quarterbacks coming into new situations.
You want to hit the Chargers game real quick? I think we skipped the Chargers game.
Oh my gosh! Oh, I absolutely did skip it. Yeah, I thought I was right there, but that's why you're here, Russ. Tell me when I skip games. This is fantastic. Raiders at Chargers -3.5, over under 52.5 for us. Where we go?
Yeah, this is another one where it went to 3.5, but this is a game that kind of doesn't concern me. I know a lot of people just look right at this game and they say, take the Raiders, take the points. But this is actually a spot where I actually wouldn't mind the -3.5 here. This will actually be a revenge game from last year. So I love highly motivated teams. You got the Chargers, last game of the season, got knocked out of the playoffs by the Raiders. Raiders got very lucky in that game, getting a 40-yard pass interference right before halftime, gave them a 17-14 lead at half. And then in the third quarter, the Chargers, I had to look back at this game. They went for it on fourth down on their own 18 in the third quarter when they were just down 3 points. They didn't get it and gave the Raiders another free 3 points. Coach Brandon Staley couldn't handle the big stage at all. It was just the last game of the season. He just wanted, he needed to win the game, and he thought he had to just do crazy stuff to win. But we're getting back to a normal game here, week 1. All right. You got the Chargers defensive line that's much improved, picking up Mack. And the weakness of the Raiders is their offensive line. I know they got Devontae Adams, but if you got a crappy offensive line and you're going up against one of the top 10 teams that I think are going to finish in sacks this year, I just feel like it's a mismatch game. I think with the motivation factor with the Chargers and the good defensive line in this game, win by touchdown. I feel like it'll be a 31-24 game, and I think they'll win comfortably. We took the Chargers early in the season last year, the first meeting, and that was a night game, and they won that game comfortably. People thought the Raiders were coming back, but they were up 2 touchdowns in that game. We won that game easily. That's why I figured they would beat the Raiders the last game of the season, but the coach blew that game for them. We're going to get back to a normal game, and I feel like the Chargers at home, this is the Chargers season. I think them and the Bills, they'll be
a lot of hype with them, and rightfully so.
Exactly. So you got to think Herbert, third season, only going to get better, man. He's going to see the field a lot better. I think he's going to pick apart the Raiders too. So give me the Chargers here. I think take the alternative line, bump it up to -6.
Whoa. Wait a minute. My man Mitch is checking in.
Yes.
My 6.5 alternative line.
Dude, Mitch knows, dude. He's been hanging out with us too long. He knows.
Yeah, well, he's a smart man. He's a winning bettor. He's been watching our show.
Yes.
And, for me personally, I don't mind that. If you think they're going to cover the game, I think they win by a touchdown. I totally agree.
Yes, and hold on. Let me just add one more. Put in the -13.5 too, Mitch. Lock it in. All right. Yeah. All right. I love when it's a public perception game where people just look at the game and all I hear on ESPN and everything, +3.5, I get those points. I don't think so, man. You're going against Herbert.
13.5. You're feeling froggy. You want to lead.
Yeah, definitely. If something's going to go wrong here, Carr's going to be starting to be down and throw the ball. He's going to throw some interceptions. I just see some turnovers. If the Raiders get down, this Chargers defense is going to be better. So I definitely see that happening.
So you talk about that Chargers defense. They are going to be better. I do agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
I actually really like the under 52.5. I think this is way too of a line. We know what Josh McDaniels is going to do here. He wants to establish a run. He's got Jacobs, who's a bell horse. He's not going to put a lot of pressure on Carr to throw the rock. He's going to establish that run game, quick passes. That's what he did with the Patriots. We're going to see the same thing with the Raiders. You're not going to get a lot of Carr, slinging around left and right. He's got Waller. He's got a lot of good players. Mm-hmm. But he really wants to establish that run game. And he's got Jacobs. He's fantastic. You're going to be running that ball. You're going to be running clock out. And then on top of that, the Chargers, they got Eckler. And, it just seems like an under game to me. I think people just look at the quarterback with the Chargers and they're like, oh, points are going to be scored. He's going to be an MVP kind of caliber quarterback. Not so fast. Under 52.5. I love that play.
That's one of those things where I think you should take the under on the Raiders team total. That seems like a smart bet right there.
Well, I wasn't even talking about the under on the Raiders team total, which I like the under in general. So I'm all for that.
Like if the Chargers get some turnovers in that game somehow, the Raiders, I just feel like they're not going to hit that number. I'm trying to whatever the number is, 27-24 type of game. Yeah, I don't see if the Raiders score over 24. I'm worried, but I do not.
Yeah, no, they're not scoring over 24.
So there's no way.
Let me just look real quick.
No, we're going to get that at 24.5, man. You're going to get some nice value there, dude. You take the under 24.5. I like.
I like that as well because I think they're going to be running the ball. They're trying to control clock. And
geez, if the Raiders score over 24.5, I'm not trusting my spread on this game. There's no way I see them.
No, I totally agree with you there. Let me see what they are right now, real quick, since we're on the game here. Team total. Let me see. Game line.
I think I saw it before. It was like 27.5 to 24.
Okay, so I'm looking right now. 24.5. The under is minus 120. So you're laying a little bit more juice on 24.5. I love that under, by the way, because I don't think they're going to be a team that's going to be scoring a lot of points because Josh McDaniels, he likes establishing that run game. So I like that under 24.5 with the Raiders as well. But I like the under 52.5. I don't think there's going to be tons of scoring. This is a division game. First game, we need to get acclimated, especially with that kind of offense and everything. So give me the under there. I don't blame you for taking the alternative line for the Chargers, but I love the under. That's where I'm going.
Nice.
So the final game, finally, because good thing you remind me not to skip that game over there. Monday night, Broncos at Seahawks. Seahawks game plus 6.5. The over-under, 45, Russ. Where are we going?
I actually got the Broncos here. This isn't one of those blowouts like the other two I was saying with the bigger spreads, but I think they get the job done. My Broncos, I expect to finish close to the top 10 in defense here this year, and they're facing Geno Smith, who actually plays conservative.
Yeah, very conservative quarterback.
Yeah, so I don't see him cracking 17 points. Russell Wilson versus old team, no way that I feel like he's going to lose this game. So Broncos, I just see controlling the game. They could come out a little slow, but it's just one of those boring games where I think they pull away and out of nowhere they'll be up 2 touchdowns. So I see like a 27-13 type of game. Broncos cover a boring type of game.
Yeah, this game's going to be extremely boring. There's going to be a lot of hype with Russell Wilson because of all of his let's ride stuff and do all that fun things. I love the under 45. That's pretty much what I'm playing. I think they're going to run the ball a lot. Williams should be pretty solid in the backfield. And then you even got Melvin Gordon, the second backup. I think they're going to run the ball a lot. I think it's just they're going to want to just win this game. And Geno Smith, I think maybe could find a backdoor cover. I mean, he's capable of it for the most part. Rashard Penny, pretty decent. I don't know if I could take the spread with Denver because I don't know. It just seems too good to be true kind of thing. But I love the under. That's where I'm rolling. So give me the under 45 in a boring Monday night game.
Nice.
So, guys, that'll do it. Long show, but tons of info, tons of good fun. Hope you guys enjoyed it. You can find me at Chris Ebom on Twitter. I do a lot of write-ups for Pickswise. You can find that as well. I have 5 write-ups this week for college football. Over-unders, spreads included for each game. I went back-to-back with a couple games like the Michigan game and the TCU game and a couple other games. So I've been running pretty hot with you're giving me 2 spots on one game. I've been doing a little damage. So be lookout in there for picks wise for my college plays. And you can find Russ at Vegas Line Reader. He has all his plays out for a week. Reach out to him. This is football season, man. He does damage, man, and it's going to be really awesome. We absolutely love it here. Hey, Scrappy Spider, thank you, man, for supporting. Be sure to tell your friends, spread the word, like, subscribe, all do those good things. We're seeing new people come up on the show every week, loving the content. We appreciate it, guys. We appreciate the support.
And guys, if you're watching now, or watching the show, very easy, guys. Help us out. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, show your support for us, and we'll keep giving out these free picks, guys, that we're doing this show just to help you guys make money. And I'm going to have some big plays coming this weekend. If you guys contact me, check out my website, vegaslinereader.com. Follow me at Vegas Line Reader and follow Chris at Chris Ebom. Don't hesitate to ask us questions, guys. Feeling good about this week. Let's hit these picks, guys, and make some money.
Absolutely, man. We're covering college and NFL, every game for the NFL slate. If there's a game you liked, we talked about it to help you guys out, give you the leans that we love, and let's rise and fire. Let's tackle that board, Russ.
Let's go.